Hey, it's Dan from the Lonely Havocs here with my buddy Chris.
How's it going?
Hey, we're going to play 1,500 points of 8th edition 40K awesomeness, man.
Yeah, this one was really awesome. I don't know, did we decide on a name for what we did?
I think we're calling it Guns and Ammo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we're checking out the battlefield here. I just made some of this terrain. I made those mats just yesterday out of some floor mats, and I just splattered paint all over them.
They look really, really good, I thought.
Well, thank you.
The whole battlefield has a good feel to it.
Thanks.
And we're going to go into my faction first.
We're talking about your list here. What do you got? What's that?
Yeah, so Primaris Marines, we did that a lot last time. Well, I
Yeah.
did that a lot last time. These are actually the Primaris Marines that we traded with you.
Yep.
The new Warglaive models.
Warglaive armigers?
The Armigers.
Homages.
So 2 5-man Primaris guys. These guys have the Stalker Bolters, giving them a 36-inch heavy shot, -2 red with a Sanguinary Priest and my stand-in Lord. Or Captain.
Slamguinius.
Slamguinius. I forget what this is called. The other flyer.
Super flyer.
The Stormhawk Interceptor.
The flying thing.
The Stormhawk Interceptor. And then a 10-man squad of Primaris with a Warglaive. Well, I guess they're backing the Warglaive up.
Yeah, they're hanging out with him over there.
Yeah, they're just right over there. Who's pointing there?
Some nice paint jobs, buddy.
Thank you very much.
That's cool
All
stuff.
right, what did you have going?
So I have 7-man squad in that Rhino, 2 plasmas, 7-man squad in that Rhino, 2 plasmas, 7-man squad in that Rhino, 2 melted, 7-man squad in that Rhino, 2 plasmas. Hey, there's a Hellforged Contemptor Dreadnought and a Hellforged Leviathan Dreadnought.
The Leviathan is a scary figure.
That dude's got 2 Butcher Cannon arrays. This guy's got a Keres autocannon. His name is Francis. The big guy is Luigi. They're homies. I've got 2 Chaos Lords hidden in those squads there. They got power swords and, just doing the thing. That's what they do, man.
The Leviathans are very terrifying to stand up next to. They're opposed to.
Yeah, they're scary to come across. And there's everybody. Pretend they're inside the rhinos. You can pretend that.
So, what was the mission that we did? How did we kind of do it?
So we made up our own mission, and I think it's pretty darn awesome, if you don't mind me saying so. So we have 10 crates, and you can kind of see one crate down there, kind of the bottom rightish corner. It's got a yellow top on it.
Yeah, above all the pink dice there.
Yes. So there's 10 crates. At the end of each player turn, you get to scatter 66.
66, yeah.
Yes, a crate. And so the crates have one of 2 things. It's either guns or ammo.
I believe.
That's right. So we decided that if it was guns, it's going to be treated as the relic, and it's worth 2 points if you have it at the end of the game. But if it has ammo,
then it's just 1 point, but you got it immediately.
It's 1
Your
point,
squad didn't have to hold on to it.
And you score it immediately, yes. So you get to choose where you try to scatter it from, but you don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, I thought it worked out. I mean, we put this together in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, we kind of threw something together real quick. And
yeah, I definitely wouldn't have done that with just anybody, because like if some people would be definitely cheesing that. And there was a couple points in the game we were like, maybe we shouldn't let that happen specifically.
Yeah.
But I thought the crates were really, really dope. And they all came from the Necromunda box set. So
yeah, that's a really cool box set.
Yeah, it comes with a ton of terrain. The crates, I remember getting them out. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with these, but they are awesome. They are dope.
I think it came up with the fact that there was 10 of them, and we're like, oh, let's just have each one of us drop one per turn. That'd be so awesome. And so it actually ended up being a pretty interesting mechanic because you don't know if it's going to be worth 1 point immediately or 2 points at the end of the game. So you kind of got to figure out, like, well, do I try to play the long game here? Or, it made it a little tricky.
Yeah, you want to stay on your end and pick up as much stuff as you can, but especially with infantry, like, it's hard to... Because they scatter 3d6, they could be right next to you.
Oh, we did 66, remember?
66,
yeah.
66.
We wanted to make sure that it really fucking went out there if it went out there.
Yeah, so my Primaris dudes definitely weren't going to be grabbing it. And then we said that you had to have hands to pick it up.
Yeah, so it was infantry only basically could pick it up, so robots couldn't roll up and squeeze it in their guns somehow and wander off with it.
But other than that, I mean, it was pretty much the relic rules. So how long have you been playing this game? Just 40K in general.
40K since Rogue Trader came out, and I was like 12.
And I've been playing since like 1998, and I've been playing at least Blood Angels ever since, and none of these models are like more than a year old.
That's awesome.
They got me. They got me really hard with all the new stuff.
They definitely just keep getting you to buy more
and more
stuff. I have
thousands of points and all this stuff, and all these models are brand new, crates included. And I think a lot of your guys are newer, aren't they?
Yeah, I've only got like a single model that's like old, and it's not even because I had it from when I started playing. It's just that thought it was a cool older model, and I threw it on the table, and that would be my warlord. And he's actually got like a claw modeled onto him, but he's actually got like a power sword or whatever.
He was really cool, and I mean all the Nurgle stuff is so. I mean, I know we played a very not similar game, but we played these factions last time minus the Warglaves.
Yeah.
And your guys are really fluffy, and they do exactly what you think they would do.
Thank you.
And it can be such a pain to deal with them.
Like,
maybe you'll see later on what I'm talking about.
Like this list, I kind of came up with last night, honestly, and I just knew I wanted to run like a whole lot of infantry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got a huge 30K army, Death Guard army, so that's why everything's painted in the classic 30K era white and pale green, and I just use them for 40K, obviously, with a couple of newer models mixed in here and there, but this one is pretty much all 30K stuff.
So what did you think of the Warglaves, kind of in this first couple turns here?
The Warglaves I was super scared of, but then I realized they only have 14 wounds, not like only is not that many, but 14 wounds isn't insurmountable like when some things have like 16, 18.
And T7's beefy, but it's not crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's like almost every vehicle now is like T7 or above. So I kind of, and I honestly, I was like, well, this motherfucker's bringing a robot. I'm going to bring a robot too. So I brought 2 robots and Leviathan, the big boy.
Yeah, I thought I was going to steamroll your robots, but I think it ended up being a pretty fair fight. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
but
we'll see how it goes.
They definitely, I think Games Workshop's done a pretty decent job of kind of balancing the new units.
Yeah.
As you can see, the Warglaves here are really fast.
They're what, 14-inch move?
14-inch move to start with, and all their weapons are assault, so if I wanted to, I could advance on you and get another shot in.
Yeah.
But I definitely was like, I'm going to pick on your rhinos and kind of just deal with your other walkers. I thought I was going to do a really good job over there as well in this first turn. And then that flyer just getting up in there.
That flyer was a pain in the ass.
Did you even shoot it? I mean, we won't say if you.
Yeah, but no, I don't think I really paid attention to him.
The movement it's got. I mean, so I take a very like anti-flyer. I do the Skyhammer missiles, which get like the -1 to hit other flyers.
Yeah.
And I mean, it gets negatives for everything else.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going around crushing stuff every turn, but I think it definitely keeps people on their toes.
It was brutal.
Yeah, and getting to move between 20 and like 60, I think it is, when it's full health is pretty awesome.
So we're looking here. We're already at the bottom of 1. So during the talking about our armies and showing off the table, like I pretty much finished my first turn.
Oh yeah, you crushed that unit of Primaris at the top there.
So at the top, you see one guy sitting on top of the building. He actually ran inside the building to hide.
Yeah, because he had 4 friends.
Because he had some friends. But the Leviathan Dreadnought and the Contemptor Dreadnought both had line of sight pretty much right away and whittled that squad down to 1 dude.
And what guns does the Leviathan have again?
The Leviathan has the Butcher Assault Cannon Array.
And it did that.
It is Strength 8, Heavy 8, Strength 8, AP -1, 2 damage per.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 of them. So I'm shooting 16 shots of Strength 8 at Ballistic Skill 2, and I was giving myself the stratagem that allows me to move and fire heavy weapons without penalty on a vehicle. And so, I was hitting on 2s and wounding on 2s, and
it was pretty brutal.
Wipes some stuff out.
Yeah, that. So it's the Primaris, just the sergeant of the squad, and all his friends are dead.
Yeah,
and he's half dead, and he's like, "I'm just gonna go inside and take this next few plays off.
I'm just gonna hide. I'm just gonna chill in here for a minute, guys."
Yeah, especially because there had been no first blood or anything yet.
Yeah,
so,
maybe take a breath.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to try and keep him alive a little bit, and also if any crates had dropped or anything like that, I would like something to be able to go after him. But you definitely did work on that squad, and then I think in my first turn I don't really do too much.
Here's my first taste of Armiger, and what was it like? 2? Well, was it 2? You hit me with 2 melta weapons, and you squeezed me down to like 3 damage, like 3 wounds. I'm sorry, 3 wounds, like immediately, just boom.
Right, but then the two Armigers going in the 1 Rhino really like points wise. I mean that.
Keep talking.
The Armigers are 240 apiece with the melta gun up top, and after that, so there's 2 of them, so it's 480, and I think a Rhino is 120 points or something like that. So putting like almost a third of my army into your Rhino, I feel like I should have gotten 1 off. I don't think the rolling was bad overall. I mean, there were a couple rolls that were kind of crazy for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my wounding was necessarily the best, especially with the Warglaves, which is kind of sad because they roll 2 dice and take the highest. And then I pop into my flyer. So I was kind of ineffective at first here. And I think this other Warglave's going to shoot your What's your other dreadnought called?
Did you care for a drink, sir?
Oh, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What's my what called?
Not your Leviathan. What's your Contemptor dread? Is that right?
Contemptor, yes. Ooh, that's
spicy.
That's delicious. Cream soda.
It is. It's quite lovely. I believe it's a blue. I believe is what it's called.
Cheers.
Cheers, sir.
Delicious.
As you can tell, the game went well because we're not angry at each other.
No, we always have fun games.
This one I thought was really awesome.
It's a gentlemanly sport.
Yeah.
It's not a sport.
If if like although I can't think of the games that are like done professionally, but like a lot of computer games are now competitive. You know what I mean? If they can do that with that, why can't you do that?
There's tournaments for 40K, and I'm sure you win money, and I guess you could make a living off of it.
I wouldn't ever want to. I mean, it's so like even if you move a guy 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to be accurate just because it's a person doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're like cheating every second of every
mess around
game. Yeah, so I don't like to get too competitive with this stuff. If I'm going to try and be competitive, it'll be on a computer or something that's a little more, less margin for error, I guess is what I'm saying. So this game I thought was a ton of fun. The terrain, you did almost all this is new, right?
That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of terrain on the table that I just built yesterday.
And what kind of material do you use for that?
So some of them were MDF terrain buildings that I purchased at Adepticon in last March, a couple months ago, and they've just been sitting on my table, not being built and being useless. You need some light.
Had a long night last night. So
it was a long night. I got lights on him. It's a nightmare for him.
I just had to get in the zone.
That's right. You're in the zone now. So and then I have like 1/2-inch MDF that my brother left at my house. So I've just been cutting it up to make the world's heaviest terrain because it's so fucking thick.
I really liked it though because a lot of the terrain I have is kind of flimsy.
Mm-hmm.
And the walls you can't really see from the side, but the walls are really tall. So like on the streets. The walls along it are actually taller than the Primaris Marines.
Yeah, I tried to make sure that they blocked line of sight because I think line of sight blocking terrain is very important to make the game more competitive. Because then you could just shoot across the whole table.
Yeah, because all the terrain I have is just like full of windows and doors. And
right,
it's like,
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I like to do large pieces. As you can see, like the thing in the middle here is supposedly like a hangar, like a maintenance bay kind of thing. And it's got like a little entrance on the top, so... We actually dropped your flyer onto it, and it fit in there perfectly.
Yeah, it looked very cool, very thematic. If you put a little bit of snow on the board, my guys would have fit perfect. I'm not going to ask you to do that for me, but I'm just saying.
I'll make a snowboard next. Oh, that'll be my next one, snow.
That would be cool.
I'll flip these mats over and paint them white.
And so at this point, you jumped out of your Rhino here and you grabbed the first objective, right? Because this is the only one on the board so far.
Yeah.
And so the first objective we made, it has a yellow top. It's the only one that's got a yellow top, so we knew it was a gun.
Yeah.
Just to add, make it a little more tactical and not completely
We
random.
knew right first off that one was going to be at least worth 2 points if you hold it till the end of the game.
if you hold it to the end of the game. And
which is harder to do than it sounds. Because this is turn 2.
Yeah. And I decided early, I was like, he is not having the yellow crate.
Motherfucker.
Which maybe I committed a little too hard to. Especially like right here, I've got 2 Warglaves and my flyer, so that's like
right up on
700 points on 2 Rhinos with 14 guys in them.
Now we can't see it, but you dropped. So what we did is we made sure to drop the crates at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just drop it and then walk right onto it. So it made it a little bit more difficult to do.
Yeah, you had to wait at least a turn, an enemy turn to get it.
So yours actually dropped behind on the left side of the screen there, behind that guard tower. It's like behind the guard tower, almost on the. It's on the ground behind.
Which was really cool because it was so close to that unit in the tower that I was like, I'll just get it whenever.
Yeah, I'll get it later.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm not really too worried about it.
It's not a big deal. This is whatever. So here I am shooting your Armiger with Butcher Cannon, and I really enjoyed rolling inside this thing.
Yeah.
Because I like just throw my dice so crazy. I was like, oh, sweet. This will contain my craziness maybe a little bit here.
So this Warglaive, he definitely gets some heat right here. Like, he definitely kind of gets his ass kicked here. Honestly, I thought like the Primaris squad and the Glaive would kind of hold their own, and the Leviathan pretty much by himself just threw that out the window.
Yeah.
And you even had the other Contemptor, but he couldn't really shoot because of the angles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was like kind of in an alleyway. Here's me trying to see if I can shoot with him. I was like, no, I was like, I can only see your chain fist, and you're like, oh, and you just like scooted it in.
High and tight.
Yep, just
high and tight.
kept it tight. So I was like, fine, I can't shoot him. So I got a couple of plasma guns here, so I overcharged those and shot at this armiger.
Yeah, because your Lord's there too, right?
Yep,
so
he's
all the rerolls.
I got 2 Chaos Lords as my HQs, which they're like 70 points apiece, just naked, and then like they have power swords. Yeah. So like if you're trying to like maximize other shit and you don't, 2 Lords, so I can get my battalion and get my 8 command points, because now we get 8 command points.
Yeah, so you had you just ran the battalion and got your 3 basic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Warglaives right now counts as Lord of War, so I got the super heavy Lord of War detachment. I forget exactly what it's called. So I started with 11. And having so many command points, I was just like, I'm going to burn through these. Like, I don't care. I'm just going to throw them. And later in the game, I was like, maybe that wasn't the best call.
Dude, we were using command points. It's like,
going nuts.
Like, I don't even care. Command points.
I think the last game we played, we only did rerolls.
I feel like that's true, yeah.
And this time, I know you used the one at least 2 or 3 times.
I used it about 2 or 3 times.
I'm not sure if you used any of your other command points. Or you made one of your vehicles blow up.
I did.
Which is which we'll
talk
see
about
that a little bit later. but it was cool that like we've gotten into the swing of it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm actually using them.
Yeah, I think I used. I definitely used at least 2 Blood Angel specific ones. And there were some times where I thought I was going to use the others, but it didn't really pan out at that time because I used so many for rerolls. And so here your Leviathan, I think at that point this armiger is at 2 wounds.
Yeah, I'd knocked him down
like that.
to about 2 or 3 wounds, and so I assaulted him. And so he doesn't have any close combat weapons, but he's still strength 8, I think, 7 or 8.
Yeah, so he was wounding me on 3.
So I was like smacking it with like my hot barrels, like just
yeah, those barrels were really hot.
Just getting in you.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shocked here. I was like, I didn't think I was going to be taking the glaive off this early, but okay. And then there's the dude in the building.
You see my cat up there?
He realized we were recording.
He's like, oh my god, these dudes. So yeah, I like took one of those armigers out, and I at this point I was like, okay, they're not that bad.
Yeah, that whole flank too. At this point you just had.
Granted, I shot him with like the most powerful thing I had on the table, so
it was,
take that with a grain of salt.
It was impressive. I mean, hitting on 2s, right?
Yeah, hitting on 2s.
Because of your command ability.
My stratagem, yeah. Oh.
Which was just 1 point, right? 1 command point to do that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome for 1 command point.
Yeah, when you're getting 16 dice hitting on 2s.
Now that you say command ability, I realize I never rolled a warlord trait. This whole game, no warlord trait.
Okay, and so what we just had was a crate drop on the top right there. So he put it in the building on the far right, like the blue L, and it scattered all the way back. So I thought at least we were gonna be there was gonna be stuff all over the middle. So I kind of went forward a little bit. That wasn't really what happened. I think that's kind of more just because the dice kept pointing towards corners.
The dice really wanted
like
it to go toward the outside.
Yeah. But you were really mobile too, so like as soon as that dropped, like I knew like I have all these Primera squads in the back that if it doesn't come right to them, I was in trouble. So I was pretty worried about that. But so what I had, this was like my whole grand scheme here. So my flyer just moves over there, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I use on Wings of Fire.
Yep.
I believe it is where you get to pick a unit, an assault pack unit, and move them up anywhere on the board. Which what I did is I used my Lord. So I pick him up, and at the end of the movement phase, I'm going to put him next to my flyer. So my flyer gets to reroll all those 1s and stuff like that. And then I'm going to use Wings of something.
Wings of Sanguinius.
Yeah, Sanguinius. Yeah, there he is popping down in the corner to give him 3 dice to charge.
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome combo.
It would have been great if it wasn't Death Guard, I guess.
Anybody else that would have... Whoa, that's a very close tape measure right there. Anyway, yeah, I think anybody else that was a little less resilient...
yeah, I mean that guy can take down an Imperial Knight by himself.
But it's really cool. Like just he's like takes off, and then just comes back down. Like it's very thematic.
He just from the tower watches like where the important stuff is going on.
He sees the Leviathan crush everything there, so he's like, "No,
I'm not going on that side. Yeah, I'm not going over there."
7 dudes over here though. But getting the reroll on the flyer I thought was cool because he can keep up with the flyer at that point.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were doing that, so that's something that the FAQ just came out, and that's something that people were doing turn 1. which you can't do anymore.
Nope, because it's like a deep strike kind of thing.
It is. You cannot, if you set up on the board, or I forget exactly how it's worded, but it's worded specifically so that you can't be a jerk and even set up on the board and jump like that.
I got you.
But, I mean, waiting turn 2 to do that, I didn't think was that big a deal.
No, that's totally awesome. And
yeah. I thought the FAQ was pretty, like, the only thing I come close to is I run 3 Warglaives, which is the maximum you're allowed to do with anything at this point. But other than that, I don't think it really affected what we were doing too much.
And here are these lance. What are they called? Lancer pikes
the
or
Melta spears or something
Melta
like that.
spear. Some hot spear of love.
30 inches at 15. They get 2 dice and pick the highest.
Yeah.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like right there, I think I just put 5 wounds on that Rhino.
Yeah. Well, you blew that Rhino up because it was down to like 2 wounds from because you're upset that first turn that you didn't destroy it completely. You're like, it's got 3 wounds left on it. It sucks. These things suck.
And then I blew it up and I was like, oh, there's nothing in it.
Yeah, like the guy. You're like, what about the guys inside? I'm like, they disembarked to get
they're right there.
They're getting that crate, dude.
But then the other Warglaive, he gets in here too, and he's so they don't blow it up with shooting, but he does quite a large chunk of damage on him. I'm pretty sure here.
I forget how many wounds you ended up putting on it, but it wasn't a good day to be a Rhino.
No. But definitely, like on this bottom part here, I was definitely kind of in command. I was definitely more committed there. Kind of, you were putting up more resistance than I was up top, but we had definitely kind of picked directions and.
Yeah.
We're definitely steamrolling certain sides. But you definitely had a lot. Do you like using rhinos in 8th edition? I know a lot of people kind of got rid of them.
I really like rhinos in general.
Yeah.
Because I love the mobility. I love being able to move quickly across the field. The new rules about you have to disembark before you move is kind of... it's not as awesome as it could be, especially when you consider that you can assault out of vehicles now. But I think that's why they did it, because you would just roll a Rhino up and then just assault out of it. So that's like, a 24-inch threat range if you rolled perfectly and moved perfectly. Actually, it would be a 30-inch if you advanced and then...
Yeah, and then especially with like these objective-based things, I mean, if you can move 30 inches, you get out and snag a relic or something like that, then turn 1, you have the entire mission here.
I love rhinos because it's just...
it's
just a good standard vehicle. Yeah, here you are rolling up on the Rhino with it's like a
epic close combat,
giant chain sword. What is it? What's the chain sword called?
It's a Reaper
chain sword.
So it's +4 strength. Or is it? It's ×2 strength, which puts it at 12. There's no negatives to hit, so base it's hitting on 3s. A lot of stuff I was wounding on 3s because your toughness. I think your lowest toughness 5.
Yeah. My Pike Marines are T5.
So I didn't really get a lot of 2-ups to wound, and I definitely rolled a lot of 2s. At least that's how it kind of felt.
You weren't rolling very well in the first couple of rounds of the game.
For wounding, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was hitting pretty good, but as you can see, I think it took 2 glaives to blow up a Rhino.
Yeah, something like that.
Which, I don't know, maybe they were just a little too cocky there. I don't know.
Well, if I recall, that first one does work on this Rhino. And I don't make like any saves, and it gets destroyed.
They had to tag it, I believe.
And then, and then the guys came out, but I moved out further away, so you weren't in combat with me.
So I could just scoop my guy in there
so,
later. Yeah.
Yep. So that Rhino sucked the pipe.
I liked having the Primaris and the tower have the Stalker Bolters.
Yeah.
The 36-inch heavy one, 2 red. I really, really did like that, and I think. Did they wound your Rhino? I think it was.
They put a wound on that Rhino in the front on the second turn of shooting.
Maybe not super impressive, but it's still like...
It's like a wound or two.
Yeah, for attack squad, you know what I mean? Especially because they're just there to pick up what falls down.
And it's just awesome to imagine, like, Fluffy-wise, they're on this tower, like, high above the battlefield, just, like, trying to pick people off, and that's really cool.
And they're there with the priest, and then the commander was up there, and he's like, I'm done being here.
out.
I got business,
away.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that's very fluffy. Just I'll be back. Just flies away.
I don't know. So fluff wise, the Warglaives are just like they're more knights.
Yeah.
I really like it when they add units to that like into the game, and they're like, oh yeah, these were there too. You remember that? Oh, they've been here the whole time. It was great.
They retcon the fluff. Yeah.
Or I don't know if they retcon it or if they're just like, also this guy was here. But so they're in like the lore. So the knights are like knightly houses and stuff. They have a king and all that.
Same kind of thing.
And then everyone else that's not nobility but is pretty dope, like they're pretty cool dudes, they can have Warglaives.
Oh, they can have them.
Yeah. So these are not like the royalty or anything. They're like, I I guess like maybe not a squire or anything like that because that's still.
So they're like the enlisted guy. They're enlisted flyers. Like they're not
Yeah.
officers.
Yeah. When someone has done something that's
actually
pretty
like
cool,
them more now.
yeah, and they're worthy of something, but they're not getting a knight because they're not.
Yeah.
They're not that cool. They get the warglaives. So the warglaives, I think they're really cool. The fluff, I think, is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Like, so a lot of the stuff, especially from the top down, it's kind of hard to see. But then they have the big top, so it's a little easier to see them.
Yeah.
But I just really like them, to be honest with you. This is the second game I've run with them, and they've had varying results. But so far, I really like the models, and the fluff for them is neat. I like all the knight fluff stuff too. So.
Yeah. I mean, the models are just like the main reason to get into them, and it helps that they're also awesome.
Yeah.
Like when they came out, I was like, oh, well, that's really cool. I was like, fuck, I don't have any reason to run those, like, because I've only got demons and Death Guard now, so I have no reason to like. I can't really run them at all because they're Imperium, so they would just have to run by themselves, and then I would have to like make them like look bad or like Nurgled out, and then just run Nurgled out Imperial Knights, and then be like, but it's an Imperium keyword, but I'm just doing counts as kind of thing.
Yeah. The rumor is in this new night book coming up.
Oh,
There's supposed to be a renegade sheet in it.
Oh,
so
good.
I mean, they have to put the renegade thing in there. Like that.
Wasn't that a thing before?
It was, and I think that was so. It was in the index, which I don't. So I guess maybe the index they're still going by, but in the night book, apparently there's supposed to be the renegade, at least that sheet, and I hope the warglaives get that as well. Like mostly because like. The Imperium can run awesome robot lists. Like, you can run Imperial Knights, you can run Warglaives, they're coming out with the Castellan. What other faction can do that?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah, like the Orcs can run Gorkanauts and...
Yeah, they've got their own big robots.
But, like, the Imperium are going to get a full army. And the only thing that can really do it would be Chaos if they got, exactly the same thing, but with a different keyword. So I'm definitely hoping they get that, because I really like doing robot fights, but I feel like doing a robot fight but the other person doesn't have robots kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
You just brought a knife to a robot fight. Here's Slamguinius doing work.
He's trying
down on the bottom. Yeah,
he's trying. So usually it's twos because he's got the special thunder hammer. I forget what it's called. But so it's double strength, no negative to hit, solid 3 damage on everything. Which I hit you a lot, but I was wounded on 3s and I was rolling a lot of 2s. And then your saves were. I thought they were pretty good.
I was doing okay, but so the funny thing is, like, I'd always forget this previously. So you have one weapon that does a shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
So each wound causes so many damage. So, that doesn't carry over. So I'm like taking 3 damage on one guy, so I get to take my disgustingly resilience on one guy.
Yeah.
As opposed to like those just sort of carrying over to the squad, which I've forgotten here and there.
Yeah,
here and there in games
huge.
I've forgotten, and like this whole squads have gotten wiped out. I'm like, wait a minute, no, only one guy takes it.
Yeah.
But he has to try to save against those, those many wounds. And like at this point, I was, losing a guy here and there, but I was rolling like a 5, a 6, and then like a 2. So they weren't like taking 3 wounds and dying; they were taking still 1 wound and dying.
Yeah.
But they were dying just the same. But it was just funny because I was rolling actually pretty well, but of course I was still dying.
You were, but I mean, look what you're holding off. So you've got my commander. You've got 2 glaives.
Yeah.
You've got the Stormhawk interceptor. And it was just 2 tax squads and a lord, right?
Yeah.
2 and your commander.
Yep.
And they really held their ground.
Yeah. My warlord did okay. I think he put a couple of wounds on you in combat.
You got me to
like
4
1 or
there,
2.
I think.
Yeah,
or did you get me? I think you got me to 3 in that total combat there. So Slamguinius there has got a storm shield. He's got the thunder hammer, so he's just a 3-up pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
He's got the hammer. Then he's got like the Black Rage ability, which I paid a command point for before the game, which gives him Black Rage, so he gets a 6-up Feel No Pain, and then Gift of Foresight, which gives him the 5-up Feel No Pain, rerolling 1s. So he was kind of nergly in
awesome.
his in his survivability.
He was super hard to get.
The only thing, so he can still be overwatched, which there's like a relic I could have taken instead, which would have stopped that, but then I would have done less damage.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the best call there was, but I really enjoyed him. I thought he was kind of fluffy. And having like the Death Company keyword on the Lord is kind of badass. Especially because he and the Sanguinary Priest are the only non-Primaris dudes. Mm-hmm. He's like the old school grizzled dude who's seen a bunch. He's just furious.
And he's like all small compared to everybody, but he's a badass.
He doesn't care. He's like, I'm going to go over here. You just stay here. I got all this. And what you'll see coming up, like, he does handle a lot of guys. He doesn't necessarily do a ton, But he holds it down over
But
on that
he
side.
handles a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
He takes them all.
He does pretty well.
So here's some like lackluster shooting from the Leviathan Dreadnought. If I recall, I shot at those guys in the tower, and you saved like everything.
I think it was 11 wounds, and I lost one guy.
You took one guy out, like one guy died. And that
Primaris
was it.
dudes in cover are awesome.
I was pretty upset about that. I was like, fuck.
And I had the sanguinary priest there, so I was like, I'm going to try to heal him next turn.
Yeah, so, I shot him up. So that guy, my Leviathan Dreadnought, also has 2 flamers, and I was like, he's never in range to shoot these flamers, because the Butcher Cannon is like 36-inch range. And then here's my Contemptor trying with his impotent rage, trying to shoot something, and he's only got 24-inch range on his Kara's assault cannon. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. So I decided I would try to plasma that armiger that's not in close combat. And I don't remember if I did any damage to him or not.
I believe here you get a few wounds on him. It's nothing crazy. I mean, Plasma, you were overcharging him because you had your Lord right there.
Yeah, so I could reroll the ones, which I did at that time. I rolled the ones. Like, God damn it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I got that Lord 6 inches.
He just turns around. He's like, don't do that. That's dumb.
Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool. Reroll. Yeah, I did put a wound on him because I saw you turn in the wound die.
I got real lucky that the Rhino I did blow up had the melta-guns in it.
Yeah, and then you were locked in combat with the melta-guns, so they obviously could not shoot. Yeah, I was pretty bummed about that.
And keeping them in combat was smart, so that I couldn't really do much with the glaive because they can't get out of melee and do anything.
No,
they don't have that. I think it's Titanic is the thing that the knights have.
I think that's the.
Yeah, they don't have that. They are definitely a lot more like dreadnoughts.
Just badass dreadnoughts.
Yeah, I mean, you had a 5-up invuln on your... Was it the Contemptor, or did both of them have
both
a 5-up?
Both of them have a 5-up against shooting and a 4-up against melee attacks.
Oh, see, I don't even get the 4-up in melee. Like, whatever I take in melee, I'm just taking.
That's it. Oh, I got you. So that's the answer right there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think your dreadnoughts were both more points. Your Leviathan was more. It was like 300-something, right?
The Leviathan's like 340. Something like that, yeah.
Wow. And what about the Contemptor?
He was like at 260-ish or something.
Okay,
like
so those two alone were worth more than the glaives.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy hitters. I mean, but they're like ballistic skill 2, weapon skill 2.
Oh yeah, I was
4-up, 5-up.
I learned very quick that they were really good.
And I forgot their special rule that if they destroyed something in hand-to-hand on a 5-up, they get a wound back.
Oh, you had to roll for it too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
That's a cool rule, but
it's cool, but I forgot it the entire game. But like, you get +1 to that roll for every model that you kill, or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, you get a bonus for the more models that you kill. So if you roll 5 or better, and it could be at +1 or +2, you get a wound back. Which
all
is
they killed in melee though with the big expensive knights. So
I burned a knight with my barrels, and he just couldn't handle it.
It was way too hot.
He could not take it. So I decided to close combat down the bottom side.
Yeah, there's Slam Gwynny is surrounded exactly. He's got you exactly where he wants you.
Yep, that's right. It's all part of his plan.
Especially because he's got the Black Rage keyword, he gets an extra attack. So he's at like 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, re-rolling.
And you only get that if you get assaulted or something, correct?
No, so the Black Rage he just gets.
Okay.
What he gets when he... So the Blood Angel special rules, the Red Thirst, on a turn that you charge, are charged, or make a heroic intervention, you add +1 to the wound roll.
Nice.
Which is way better than just like the +1 strength. It just is, so like you're never wounding on worse than a 5 in melee. Nice. And that was the only way I got 2s against you, but you made a lot of saves.
I was making a lot of saves. So I think in these combats I ended up putting like maybe 1 or 2 wounds on you with like all those guys. That were
and I chipped maybe a guy a turn away or something like that.
Well, you were hitting me pretty hard. It was about 2 guys, probably two Marines a turn.
I really didn't want you to have that crate. I knew there was a gun in it. I knew it was there. I didn't want you to have it.
So you can kind of see it down on the bottom left corner there. Bottom right corner. This little blue dot. So the little blue dot is my victory points. So I've got 1 little blue dot so far because I destroyed your armiger, and that was for first blood.
Yeah.
First blood.
First blood.
First blood. So I did get first blood. I was trying real hard for a Slay the Warlord point here.
You were very close to it.
Did not happen this round. So we'll see what happens there. Just keep getting smashed by this.
And then in that bottom left, I dropped a crate down, and it went right in front of me, and I was like, ugh. Because all these Primaris dudes are like, we're just going to bugger down. Now they had to run out, which kind of worked out in the end. we'll see all that.
Right,
But,
yeah,
I definitely thought I was gonna get to stay because I'm not as quick as you. I don't have the rhinos or anything like that. So.
Yeah, you're all on foot.
Yeah, and they're not slow, but they're definitely not fast. You know what I mean?
Bottom of 3 here. So, but before I think bottom of 3, I had to drop a crate, or did I forget to drop a crate? No,
we did.
No, we did. We dropped the crate.
Yeah.
So
and this is gonna go. So you've got 2 now in the
here's
top
me
right
scattering.
over there.
Yeah, I think it's scattered right back into the top right corner. Basically.
So yeah, there's 2 crates over there
Yep.
now. You can't really see the other one because it's in the 3.
I was trying to drop it
there.
close enough to my rhinos and hope that it didn't scatter super far to where I could just pop over and grab it. But they both went to the same spot. So I was like, well, I'm kind of on the way there anyway. So I've got that top rhino still has a whole squad of dudes in it. That middle rhino is disembarked and they're in combat with Slamguinius. And the other squad's in combat with the Armigers. And then that other squad with my Warlord is also in combat with Slamguinius. So.
A lot of our stuff seemed to get kind of locked in.
Yep.
Like pretty early. A lot of our turns, I feel, went really quick. It was like, all right, well, these guys have to do this. So that's going to happen.
So, hey, middle of 3.
Middle of 3.
Let's do some
Boom.
tableside.
Middle of 3, tableside
with
action.
Chris and Dan.
How you feeling about this, Chris?
So far, I'm digging it.
You digging it? Yeah, man. So let's see what we got here. Middle of 3, I got 2 crates that I've managed to drop right here in the sweet spot. Back on my side. I got a rhino that's headed that way. This Contemptor is kind of stuck. He stuck behind this guy in this narrow alleyway here. This guy was doing a lot of work, but then he shot at these dudes this turn and they made all their saves.
Primaris and cover.
Primaris and cover are lucky. This guy's still hiding out back here. That guy's dead, I think, right?
Yeah.
He dead. And these guys have been trying to drop crates on their side and have managed to get one over here, not too far away, and another one right in front of them over here. So they've just been hanging out. Did they move at all this game?
No, they've just been kind of hoping to get a drop.
Yeah, they've been waiting it out. So here's the real where the real action is happening over here in my corner.
Yeah.
We got your
Captain Slam.
Your Captain Slamguinius. He's in combat actually with my Warlord. This sexy fellow here, as you can see. And there's 2 squads in combat with that guy, trying to whittle him down. Not going so well. I managed to put a few wounds on this Armiger from close combat over there, and each turn he is smashing one of my guys into pink-brown goo.
It's not super effective for such a big model, but
Yeah, against infantry, yeah.
That's not where their strength is, though.
So right now, I'd say we're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah,
I've got a single victory point because of First Blood for blasting apart a Armiger with my Leviathan Dreadnought.
Yeah, I think he put some heat down.
He did. He really did. These awesome painted robots are getting all up in the mix. Enjoying it quite a bit. So this was the middle of 3. Are you ready for your turn 3 there, Chris?
Ready to bring it down. I think we dropped the last crate, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I dropped it over here.
So got some schemes ready for you.
Some schemes.
Got some scheming going on.
I like schemes.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah, man. All right, let's do
Let's
this.
do this thing.
Bottom of 3.
Awesome tableside action for the middle of 3.
Middle of 3, and then I decided that the Leviathan had given me enough trouble, and this guy was just gonna leave.
But his second turn of shooting wasn't that great. But yeah, I knew you were like, oh, that's a huge threat. I should go over there. And I was very relieved, to be honest, that you wandered away.
Yeah. Well, I figured, especially with my flyer moving,
I was like, leave.
I was gonna come, and I was like, all right, so he's kind of got this objective. And then you had 2 in the top right, so I used my on Wings of Fire again. I was like, I'm gonna get out of here and try and deny you.
Yeah,
I'll let you have your 2. That's fine.
that was pretty awesome. You just like took out. This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done with this.
I had you right where I wanted you again.
Yes.
And then he left. That ability is really cool, especially for only 1 command point.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty sweet.
yeah, I really dig it. Very thematic with the Assault Marines. Who I don't think when 8th edition dropped, I didn't think Assault Marines were very good.
No,
Like,
I was like, Assault got better, but were they? So can you take Assault Marines as troops choices?
No.
Ah,
No.
see, that sucks ass. Because that used to be Blood Angels, like bread and butter was just like Assault Marines.
Yeah, just tons of Assault Marines. I
Yeah.
mean, so you could take the fast attack detachment, but then you have to take at least 3 assault squads,
Yeah.
an HQ, and you get 1 command point back. So it's like
But you have to have how many troops choices still to make that legal?
Well, you can run that as a detachment, its own detachment.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, it's
So no
three
troops.
assault
You don't have to
squads.
take any troops choices, but you have to have 3.
You have to have 3 fast attack
Got you.
choices,
Yeah,
and your
that
fast attack choices are scout bikes, assault marines, and the new. Oh my gosh, what are those guys called? The spaceman, space marines. They got like the heavy bolt pistol rifles.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
They're a fast attack choice. I'm not a huge fan of them.
Yeah, they look goofy.
But so I would rather just. I like having marines on the board. You know, I'm playing marines. I like having.
They look like Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, they really do. Here's another. So this is 2 games in a row where my Primaris guys have shot your infantry.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot.
And have done nothing.
Yeah, 3s to hit, and then it's 5, 6s to wound, and they just
T5 is awesome.
Yeah, and you got a 4-up save because it was -1 Ren, but then you've got the 5-up feel no pain, so it's just like okay.
I was doing okay.
Pew pew.
No, I remember this round, like you just did a crap ton of hits, and I saved like all of them.
Yeah, it's some.
No, you did hit a crap ton of hits, but no wounds.
Yeah,
like hardly like no wounds at all.
Those all bleed in for me. They're all every time I shoot you, it's the same experience.
Because you whiffed like it was like 8 or 9 that hit, and you whiffed all of them for wounding because you needed 5s. You're like, and I've got none. I was like, good, because I'm trying to put some melta guns on this robot here, and you're messing me up.
The dice,
you're ruining my flow.
There was some not great roll in the start, but I feel like overall my rolls were pretty decent. Like especially a little bit later, it kind of balanced out.
Sure.
I think there was one time where I hit you with a power sword, and I like hit with double 6s, and then I rolled double 1s immediately after.
Yeah.
One of those kind of days. But as far as like the game went, I felt like everything was pretty. I didn't feel you were rolling crazy great. You were rolling decent, but it wasn't something where like after the game
it wasn't my best rolling today.
Yeah. But tactically, like, I thought you were playing it really well there. Getting up to try to deny your Rhino up there, I thought was a better move. Yeah. I definitely felt like it was more...
That was frightening for me.
Yeah, and I felt like the game was a lot more tactical as opposed to just, like, shoot, here. Because, like, that blob of dudes, like, I just, like, you have it. You won that, that's fine.
I'm done with you guys. Yeah. And I really, and like Chris said, we did come up with this whole scenario, like, in about a 2 or 3 minute. Like, we just kind of shot some ideas off each other. Well, what about this? What about this?
That would be cool.
And it ended up...
that would be cool, too.
It ended up being really, really awesome. And if I'm smart, maybe I'll put the scenario rules in the comments below.
Down here.
Down. So look at them down there. I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. And so maybe you can give that a shot. You can use anything as crates. So basically just, 1 is worth 1 point. And then how many guns were in there? It was like 4 guns out of 10?
It might have been half and half. I don't really remember. I have to joke. I think there's less guns than ammo.
There was definitely. I think it was 4 guns. Out of them
6 ammo.
And there was 6 ammo. So,
and the ammo you just scored right away. You got a point. You took it off the board.
Yep.
The gun you had to hold till the end of the turn.
The gun we used the same rules as the relic, so you could only carry 1 of them, and you couldn't move more than 9 inches. You could not embark, and at the end of the game you scored it if you had it. So it was also kind of I thought was fun too because at certain points I was like, well, if I capture this and it happens to be the 2-pointer, well, that sucks because then I have to worry about...
You have to hold it.
I have to worry about holding it. I was hoping for like some of them to be the 1-point ammo so I could just get the point and keep going on with my life.
I definitely think you got 2 of the gun... Well,
I got 1 right now.
You got 1 right now, and I think... I haven't gotten any yet. I've got the one behind my Primaris dudes in the tower, but again, I was just... As long as the priest lived, he was just going to get out and grab that. There was no real rush. So I think here is where
you're assaulting my Rhino with Slammy Slam Glinius.
Yeah, so he had to make that charge, and he did a real good job. And I think I put did I even hit you with the Melta Lance, or he does his work in melee, doesn't he?
So at this point, I think you.
It was scary assaulting that thing.
So I'm trying to remember which assault this was. Because I flamered you.
You did.
The flamers did anything.
I think all the flamers failed to wound or something like that. I only hit you
like twice with my butcher cannon, and I wounded you twice.
Then let's see, do I go for a wound die here? Yeah, you got him.
Yeah, I put a wound.
I think that dropped him down to the 2nd tier too, because he had a few
that's right.
on him.
That's right. He got really weak after that.
Yeah, hitting on 4s. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but you don't get a ton of attacks, and I just barely made the charge. If I didn't make that charge, I would have been very sad.
He runs in, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, and so I didn't know if you were going to
vengeful for his brother.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to interrupt my charge here, so I went first with the Armiger just to do anything I could.
I always forget that you can spend command points to interrupt and do the next assault after the chargers have gone, and you actually did that to me at some point during
with
the game.
Sanguinius, yeah, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was like the first or second turn. Yeah, the first or second turn, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I was like, this is like it's like one of my least favorite things is like, oh, I'm gonna go next instead because it just confuses me. And I'm like, whose turn was it again?
They really need to do some kind of like interrupt command point.
No, I
thing.
have to think.
Like even if it was like a -3, but you stop someone from doing something.
Yeah.
That would be kind of awesome because a lot of the times it's just like, now I'm gonna crush this and that's over.
Yeah.
But so I think I did like 10 wounds on you there with the glaive.
You did a lot of wounds.
Your Leviathan was
Dreadnought.
definitely, he knew I was there. And I don't think, so he just was doing 4 attacks, just at strength 8, no rend or anything like that,
yeah,
right?
because he doesn't have any close combat weapons at all. His brother has got the assault claw or some such thing.
Yeah, and there's the same Sanguinius just went up and crushed that rhino.
Slammo gets the freaking rhino and just pops it open.
Yeah, he rolled like an 11 to charge, and then
popped it open like a can of biscuits.
And so I rolled to wound your guys, and I didn't wound a single guy with your vehicle exploding.
Nope, did not.
It just like opened around them.
Yeah, and they just popped out.
Yeah, oh,
what happened?
Who's this dick?
Why is it so bright out here?
And he's just got his hammer, and we'll see what happens from there.
So yeah, you took him down quite a bit. My Leviathan Dreadnought, I think he was at like 2 or 3 wounds at this point.
I believe so.
It was like the dice must be on the other side of him, so you can't see it at this angle. But yeah, you hurt him pretty bad.
You can also see at the very top left there, I've got the captain. So that was the sergeant from the squad that the Leviathan crushed in the first turn, and he's making it all the way
He's still running away.
That was enough for him.
I'm out of here.
But at the same time, I was thinking, like, this dude can hold objectives. I've got the objective behind you, and I have the priest that could try and heal him. So I was kind of just hoping you'd leave him alone, which so far so good. You know what I mean?
So on that bottom there, I just embarked into that building with the crate.
Oh yeah, your Lord and
the
your
2-point
crate,
gun
right?
crate.
Yeah.
Yep, they just embarked in there. So our rules that we've done, just to make things easier for us with buildings and getting on top of buildings, is we just treat them like vehicles. You can embark if you're within 3, and if you want to disembark, you can disembark on the top of the building or wherever side you want to come out of. So you can't just like pop into a building and then move up to the top the same turn. You gotta like wait a little bit.
Yeah, because infantry just ignore that stuff, like in the rule book.
Yep.
Which it's maybe not the easiest to see, but the guys in that tower, that's like a 4-story building.
Yeah, they're up really high.
Yeah, and there's a crate literally like an inch behind them.
Right.
So just jumping down and jumping back up would have been kind of silly. So I definitely think that's a cool rule, especially for these taller buildings.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is because they're so tall. It's like, what do we do? Do we call it 3 inches of movement, whatever? I think it's just easier to say, well, I'm gonna be inside, and they're spending a whole turn walking up the stairs. Hop, 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 hop.
Okay, so here's where this Warglaive didn't do so good. So the Leviathan decided enough was enough, and he
walked
out.
He's like, I'm just gonna
that's
chill.
fair. That's fair.
I'm just gonna chill back here.
But then this Contemptor is like, he's been winding up all game.
Yeah.
He's ready to...
Francis the Contemptor.
And I think when you charge him, which I'm not sure if that's what's going on here, but when you charged him, I did Overwatch him, though, and I hit him with the lance, and I was like,
Yeah, I think I took a wound.
No, you saved it.
I did?
Yeah, you totally saved it. I finally came through with it, and he just like,
Nah. So, yeah, that's right. I melted your armigers.
Which he got pretty lucky there. I don't think he took a ton of damage.
I think maybe 2 of them hit. And then it was like a couple of wounds. It wasn't that many.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. No, I think that one did 6, but that was it.
So here I am. I'm going to Combi Bolter and also Kara's Assault Cannon, your armiger, trying to soften him up.
That Assault Cannon's dope, especially because he's hitting on 2s, right?
Yep.
And does he get a negative to move and shoot, or did you use that stratagem again?
He does, and I actually think I was rolling on 3s at this point because I was pulling all the 2s out. And I think that's just because I thought that his ballistic skill was 3. So I ended up playing correctly. Yeah, I just pulled a 2 out. So I ended up playing correctly because I forgot what my stats were.
On accident.
Yeah. So my apologies.
Oh, no, that's all good. I'm sure I probably made a mistake or two.
I remember that like halfway through, I was like, wait a minute, his ballistic skill is 2. And I was like, well, I was rolling on 3s anyways. Whatever. It's whatever. So it doesn't look like I did any damage with any of my shooting at all.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, like later in the game, like my Primaris dudes didn't have too much to shoot at. Your squad down there is just, they are disgustingly resilient.
Yep.
It's true. And then you just didn't have a lot to fire back at.
Nope.
Your walkers were still really scary at this point. Your Leviathan's got like 2 wounds left, and I'm still like...
Yeah. He's still pretty effective with 2 wounds.
Yeah, and then you charged me, and like I don't have an invuln save.
Yeah.
And you had... What's the weapon that he's rocking?
So the Contemptor's got like a Contemptor Hell Claw or some
The
such
Hell
thing.
Claw.
It's like strength times 2.
Which put you at
14 strength, yeah.
Well, yeah, which was wounding me on a 2,
Yeah,
so 2's to hit, 2's to
you on
wound.
2's to wound. It was like AP minus 3, and it was like 3 damage per.
I should have moved his arms into like a shrugging
Like, oh, okay.
motion. Like the whole time I was
Yeah.
just like, "What? Just tell me when to take him off."
Yeah, like it was pretty brutal. So that was the second armiger to go down.
Yeah, and he did not blow up or anything. When I destroyed your Rhino at the top right, this was a little while ago. You
Yep.
did decide to do your ability where
Yeah.
you
No,
could
that was
force blow
actually
up
later.
Was it?
Yeah, it happens later, I think. Or was it that one?
It was that one because the it
no,
was that one up there.
No, I think it's later because I wouldn't have blown up a one that had people in it.
No, because I blew it up. Remember? And then you got to force do it. Because that's why I say because you've only got one Rhino left.
Yeah, it's true. I don't remember if it survived. But yeah, and then it only did 1 wound.
Yeah, and then I got to
whenever
my
that
save.
happened.
Yeah,
Whenever that was.
that's still a really cool rule. It trying to assassinate Slam Gwinius up there,
Yeah.
who's got 1 wound left,
I
mind
was,
you.
I was trying to get him. but
At
it
this
didn't do
point,
anything.
yeah, he's got 1 wound. He's bleeding everywhere. His guts are hanging out. He got his shield and his hammer, which
So-
I love the shields.
Yeah.
But like, why even have power armor if you could just have?
Yeah, if
his
you just have an awesome
shield? Yeah,
shield,
like,
yeah, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
He should just be running around in his underwear, like,
Yeah,
with a
it
shield.
everything there is just to look cool. Which that model does have the nipple armor, so he does
Yeah,
look sweet.
Yeah, you should make a new Slamgonius that like doesn't have a shirt on or a helmet, like just long hair,
Yeah.
and just like a shield. It's like I don't need armor. I got this 3+ invul
Just
shield.
drill the jump pack into my spine.
Like it actually has straps on it. It's like got them tightened up. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
let's
it would
that
make a lot
happen.
more sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
the shield's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Save all the money of making the stupid.
How much
power
is it?
armor.
How much is that shield points wise?
17.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a really good. That's a good deal.
Yeah, I think it's 34 points for the hammer and the shield, and then you get the
Mm-hmm.
free relic. Which, like, if you're gonna put the hammer on them, you should take that.
Yeah.
Unless you're really worried about Overwatch, which some armies you should be. You know what I mean? But I think, like, maybe against Nurgle, I don't know if there's or not.
Bottom of
Nurgle,
4.
oh, sorry.
No, I just like yelling
Yeah,
when
you're
people
good.
are talking.
But I think Zinch has a lot of flamethrowers,
Do they?
and I don't know who else has a lot. Anything that can really crush you with Overwatch is kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should really plan on that. And so here's my guys walking down the steps.
Yep, they got that ladder.
Got to get that crate, and there's not enough for them to shoot at to justify
Right.
risk and staying up there.
Yeah.
And then that captain making a run for it.
He's doing all right, man.
Yeah, and he's next to the priest now, so I'm gonna try and bring a buddy. Well, try and heal him up,
So
and
it's-
also try and snatch this crate out from you here at the bottom.
So did I drop a crate this last turn? I think this is the turn I might have forgot to drop a crate.
I felt like we forgot one.
I feel like that might have been the turn because I don't remember me dropping a crate that turn. Yeah, I don't think I did. I forgot to.
Huh. That might have changed the game
That
a little
was
bit.
doubtful. But
Maybe.
so there's 2 crates up at the top right corner. I have a crate in the building on the bottom right. You're coming up on a crate sort of toward the middle bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a crate behind the guard tower on the middle top left.
Yes, but I don't know what's in either of my crates.
You don't know what's in them.
You've got a pistol so far,
I got one that's worth 2 points.
and Slamgwinius single-handedly is trying to hold you off the 2 at the top.
Yeah, because that's big money right there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get
it's
those,
worth his
I'm
life.
trying to get those suitcases full of loot.
They're exclusive loot crates.
And you got an armiger coming up on me in the middle there.
Yeah, who I believe so here is where my Stormhawk Interceptor I believe shoots your Leviathan. But first we've got to do this down here. We have to go through the motions because they don't do anything.
So I made these cool tokens to like remind us of like who's shooting what, but we didn't do a very good job of using them this game.
Probably 60%.
I'd say it's
probably
about
60% on there.
58 to 60%.
We definitely remembered after the shooting was done.
Yeah, we're like, oh man, we didn't have the things on there. 'Cause
Yeah,
even
so-
I'm right now, I'm like losing track of what was shooting.
This
what.
is the 2 assault cannons from the Stormhawk Interceptor on the Leviathan.
Yeah.
So I did 6 wounds, and I just needed you to fail like 2 of them or something. And I think you saved those.
Yeah.
And then the last Talon came through.
Is that not? We're not doing the shots on the bottom there with the where the tokens are.
We maybe, but I think we.
Because that's where the tokens are.
So here's how I can kind of tell what I was doing with the assault cannons. I like to use 2 different colored dice to represent each assault cannon, even though it's completely
okay. Yeah,
meaningless.
we did move them. We're like, oh, we just did this instead. Sorry.
Yeah, see there, we blew him up.
So and he didn't blow up. That's right. Yep, you're right. I don't even know why I'm interrupting you.
And then so I'm gonna try and blow up your Contemptor here, which
yeah, Leviathan Dread was frightening, but I don't know. I mean, I guess he made his points back because he killed a whole squad and he killed one of those robots.
Well, he didn't kill that squad, and then the dude ran away and got healed up.
He killed most of a squad and he killed a robot. So really, he only killed a robot.
Yeah, I mean, he was terrifying, though.
He was terrifying.
Your Contemptor, though, was definitely doing some
Contemptor
work.
did a lot more work than I anticipated. It's that super Hellclaw or whatever the hell it's called. Like I usually have my books over here, but I don't have them. I'm like, we're all wired in here. Like there's cables everywhere. I'm not even worried about it.
So here, like, I think I'm hitting on 5s now or something like that. I did a lot more damage than I thought I was gonna do. But once, like, you don't get a lot of shots with these Warglaives. You're getting, the D3 with the lance, the melted gun. So the most you're getting is 4. And when you're hitting on 5s, it's not super dependable.
Yeah.
And because your toughness is so high on everything, even with my melta weapons, I'm still wounded on 3s.
Yeah.
Which I was just struggling. I could roll everything but 3. Like 4 ups, 1 2s, everything was great.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, 3s just couldn't happen. And then I survived the Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I think that might be it for that Warglaive.
Yeah, you rolled in, and I mean your chain reaper, chain sword, fist, claw, whatever the hell it is pretty strong. But because me being strength 14 with mine,
and I had no invuln, like I had to either crush you or that was it.
That's like a huge,
This was terrifying for me too because you still had 2 command points, and I thought you were going to interrupt me one way or the other.
So now you know that I hardly ever use that one because I always forget that I can do it. I mean, and that's huge too. Like going like in 8th edition, the fact that you like, go back and forth, and it's not just I get to attack because it's my my turn or initiative or whatever the hell. It's just huge, like to pop in and like I'm going to take this thing out before he gets a chance to get me, and that's a big deal. And I always forget, and I need to start remembering that. It's important.
I think here you're attacking Sanguinius, which this squad didn't do too well against him. Like he did fairly well against him. So I
didn't do much.
I dedicated everything there to killing your HQ.
Yeah.
He was not your warlord, unfortunately, for me at least. But he actually did kill someone, so I was pretty stoked about that. So at this point, he's blown up a rhino. He's slain a leader. He held 2 squads together.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with how he turned out.
Yeah, he did a lot of work.
I don't know if he got his point. No, how many points is the rhino?
Like 75 points or something like that.
And how many points is your cap? You said 70 for your HQ?
76, 80 points or something like that. Like 80 something points all told. Actually, it's on my phone.
Okay, so he got his points back, and he gave the interceptor some rerolls. They were kind of sparing where he was giving rerolls and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna complain about that. Anything that lets me reroll 1s, even though whenever I got to reroll 1s, there was a lot of 2s and 3s and stuff like that.
My lord is 78 points. Each chaos lord is 78 points.
And then whatever gear they
rhino is 72 points.
72 points,
according to this here app.
Let's see, I think so. Maybe he didn't make his points back, but denying you
top of 5,
denying you that
top of 5
was huge. Denying you that corner was huge.
That's right.
I'm gonna say it.
So at this point, I was like, you know what? I can just score that objective if I just walk out of combat, and so I scored ammo.
Well, so no, that top one on the top right, that was a gun. Remember?
Was it guns?
Yeah, you've got a gun in that one, so you have to hold that to the end of the game.
Yeah, okay, that's the instance that I was saying that sucks because I wanted to just get a point because I knew I was going to die.
Yeah,
I was like, this dude's just going to kill me, so let me just run off and get that point. So another interesting tactic here, I'm measuring out.
Yeah, just making a run for it.
I was like, if I can just run up on this and end my move on it, because that's when you scored it, that's what we decided.
Yeah.
And if it's the one that's worth a point, I'll just score that point right in front of his face.
That was really smart. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, and then I missed it, so I command pointed it, and I rolled another dice, and I was still too far away.
But I mean, I thought that was brilliant. Like the units themselves don't matter.
Yeah,
like, casualties don't matter
because you just get the point, and if I die, cool, I still got the point.
Yeah, and neither of us are gonna have line break with those units because we set up in corners.
Yeah.
So on top left, you're bottom right.
Yeah.
So going for the crate was really cool.
Yeah,
and then you could still shoot your meltas at least, which
because I advanced.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be awesome, but I did not roll enough on my advance. I think I rolled a 1 the first time, so I command pointed it, and then I rolled like a 4, and I needed like
short.
A 10. I needed like a 5 or something, so I ended up getting an 8.
It was still really cool though. When you did it, I was like, oh man, that's oh no,
that's brilliant.
I should have done that.
Like, dude, it would have been so good. Just get it right. Yoink!
Especially because the whole game, that squad has been just like walking towards that, taking pot shots at that squad.
Yeah, that was their whole purpose, to just grab it from them.
Yeah. So then you melted that squad, so you missed it, but you still got to melt two of the dudes.
I melted like one guy, I think, one guy to death.
Not enough to get him to run away. And then up here, I'm
gonna hell claw.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna take care of business here.
What's that thing called? Like, I keep closing this. Like, I need to know what it's called.
It was whatever it was. It was this
Hellforged Deathclaw.
Hellforged Deathclaw.
I mean, that sounds nice. Like, it sounds like it's like a hand with a bunch of feathers on it.
Someone put a lot of work into that.
It's like the feather sword. It just tickles you and you laugh. Hellforged Deathclaw. Jesus.
Yeah. And, like, I rolled the saves, but it was like, sure,
hey, he's
whatever.
dead.
Yeah. So that's 2 glaives. Was it 2 glaives that he was personally responsible for finishing?
He killed 2 glaives, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 480 points there that he scored.
I think that Contemptor might be my man of the match.
He was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
When he was just in the middle of the board, there's like, I'm just gonna leave him alone. Whatever he wants to do. I
don't know what to do with this guy now. So is this bottom of 5? I think is what's happening.
Yeah, so we rolled for this one too. We did random game length, right? So this is where we started rolling.
Yep. At the end of this turn, we would have rolled a 1 or 2 would have ended it. But we'll go ahead and spoil that a little bit. It did not end at the end of turn 5.
It did not. It goes on for a little bit more.
So
I just scored a command crate. There's my crate and my little. My first.
You got your sweet blue dot.
Yeah, that's my first. Was that really my first victory point of the game that late?
Yes.
Wow.
Because you were trying to figure out when you wanted to move your guys off the tower to try to go grab it.
Yeah, and then you can see at the left side there on the street, there's another crate there. And there was another crate that landed behind the tower. And then because you were just short, I was able to snatch that crate. So,
so you got
one turn, I just got like crate hungry. Everything in mind.
Crate thieving. So, that was awesome. Like, I was starting to sweat. I was like, oh, man, he's like going to start picking up all these crates. And if you look on the back edge of your board, you've got another crate sitting at the back, too.
Yeah, on the road.
And you had a bunch of dudes within crate snatching range.
They were, but I guess, and I was thinking, the Leviathan, I didn't want to move him out because I was like, he's just going to walk that dreadnought up and kill everybody. Which he probably couldn't have done because he's got the 24-inch gun. But at that point, I was just
You're still kind of far away.
Crushed by everything. I was like, he's going to just kill everyone I love. Stay away. I wasn't worried about the flyer, though, because you can't charge it.
Yeah, that's one of those flyers that you can't just roll up on.
Which was really cool, because it still denies you can't walk under it.
So Slammy Slamguinius jumps over me.
Yeah, he wants to look you in the face.
He's like, no, here I'm carrying, like, I got 2 dudes carrying this crate, like, oh no, like, trying to run away.
And he still got his mastercrafted bolter, so he's like, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, that thing is pretty nasty, too.
Yeah, I mean, just him shooting it's not crazy, but it's still a potent weapon. Gives him a little more than just charge.
I think it's like 2 damage per, yeah.
So strength 4, -1 rend, and 2 damage or
that's
something.
Pretty cool.
So.
More than 1 damage is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was sweating it, though, because if I still had to charge you there, and you had 2 plasma guns. I think this is where...
Yeah, we forgot to put the tokens out again. I think you're shooting me with...
Leviathan.
I think you're shooting...
Yeah, because I looked at that model, and I was like, you are not going to do anything to this Dreadnought.
Yeah,
I got it down to a wound.
I got to interrupt you. That's the Contemptor Dreadnought.
The Contemptor Dreadnought.
He earned his respect today, so you call him by his name.
Whatever, as long as he stays away from me, I don't care.
He definitely earned his stripes today. He gets extra freaking pink goo in his sack.
Yeah, there's a 5 and a 4 to wound with that was the hit with the last Talon, and then I wounded with both of them. I was losing my mind.
You were messing me up, but I was making some decent saves too.
You were, but the Talon ended up putting. I think I got you down to 1 wound on it.
Yeah, you put me down to 1 wound with shooting from this flyer right now.
Which stopping you from hitting me on 2s and 3s.
Yeah, it makes my ballistic skill 4, my weapon skill 4 at my last tier.
I thought that was pretty big from stopping him from letting him do whatever he wants.
Just run wild with his 2-up ballistic skill.
Unfortunately, I think at this point, it's not what I was thinking while we were playing, but the Leviathan and then the 2 squads at the bottom are kind of not
relevant to the scenario. There's just no... Well, I mean, stuff could have fallen still. But there's nothing, like, within striking range for them to really do.
You mean my squad at the bottom?
So
both of our squads at the bottom. Because I just scored that point.
Yeah, and your other crates are like
they're
24 inches away at least, yeah.
So really, just the top right, where Sanguinius decides he's going to finish these nerds off.
Slammy slam.
I survived the Overwatch. He's at 1 wound. I think he's been at 1 wound for like 2 or 3 turns now.
I think he's at 1 wound right now.
Yeah, because I burned a command point, my last command point. I'm pointing because they were on the towers where I kept track.
You point up.
Yeah.
So I do this.
Yeah. I used that last one to save him and was able to get in the melee, and I finally just like took care of business. It's like 3 guys. I can do 3 guys.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
fine.
Three's fine.
Yeah.
There's no problem. And then you like surrounded my 2 melt-a-gun guys.
Yeah, I'd had enough of them too.
You know, melt-a-guns are awesome, but like their short range really is a bummer. Especially on infantry, you're like, oh, we get right up on you, so I can do like a 6 inch to get that benefit of rolling 2 dice and picking the highest. So like, you got to be like right up on a dude. You're just gonna get charged. You're just gonna get smacked back.
You'll get a turn or 2, maybe.
Yeah, like you definitely got to make sure you kill whatever it is you're shooting. You're just gonna be screwed.
That's why I really like the Warglaives, because that's a 30-inch melta.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they can move 14, so I mean, it's essentially like a 44-inch weapon. You know what I mean? And if you get within 15, you get those 2 dice, which is really nice.
That was me rolling a whole lot of saves and then failing all of them.
I think you had to roll because it was 3 damage apiece. So you'd roll 3. You get 5, 6, and 1.
Yep.
5, 6, and 2.
Yep.
6, 6, and 1.
I was really hoping at least one guy would survive, and I was like, I'll hold this guy off with 1 dude. But no, they sucked it really hard.
Yeah, and so you drop the crate, and at that point, I have the 2-point crate.
You have the 2-point crate. Slams.
So that was a
dragging
huge,
it along.
Yeah, that was a huge change up right there.
Yeah. I was sweating so hard. I was like, oh, shit, he's going to get that one. There's another one.
But you did have another squad of 7 there.
There's a squad in the Rhino.
Yeah, it's not done there just yet.
So we decided also that you could only capture 1 crate at a time, so you couldn't be carrying a crate and then capture another crate. So that means if you have that 2-point crate, you've got to put all your eggs in that one crate basket, you know, unless you just want to walk away from it and try to capture another one and try to get a point right away, which is also a valid strategy.
Yeah.
Which that never came up, but I think we should definitely play this scenario again because it worked out really well.
Yeah, there's only a few things that really need fine-tuning, because like I put the crate location in the same place a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's scattered, so it's different.
Yeah.
But a lot of them ended up being like the back left of the board there.
Yeah, that was just sort of randomly happening.
Yeah.
Top of 6!
Top of 6. I was kind of ready for that one. Kind of ready. I'm getting used to this. It only took an hour and 5 minutes.
I forgot to do it like the last couple of times. Usually I'm just screaming like a crazy person.
I'm just listening.
It's probably why I don't get that many views.
That's why I'm kind of shaking. Like
I don't get a lot of views. People like, this guy just screams the whole time. It's really annoying. But
that's only once per turn.
Only once per turn. Twice per turn. Top and bottom.
All right, so Sanguinius just got to survive 1 more round of dudes.
Slams hanging out, so all my guys are disembarking.
Is that all the dudes you got for me?
What else you got?
Well, no, there were more dudes.
I haven't had enough dudes.
And then, so that crate in the corner was a 1-point crate.
Yep, I walked right onto a 1-point crate, and I got another blue dot there in the bottom right corner, as you can see. So I'm up to 2 blue dots versus your 2 blue dots.
And you had to kill Sanguinius to get that 2.1, which is possible with that many guys. Yeah. You had the 2.1 in the tower with all the dice on it, and then I had a 2.1 behind the tower on the left side. Yep. So pretty close right here. You had first blood, and that was about it at the moment. So command point or victory point wise, very very close right now.
Super close.
And I don't even remember where we're at. Is this my turn or your turn?
This is top of 6.
This is your turn, yeah. So
because I walked out, disembarked, walked onto that crate first, scored a point with it, and then
I turned Sanguinius to face you, so you're shooting him.
I'm shooting the crap out of him with plasma guns and bolt guns.
And he's got 1 wound, and so he has to survive all on his armor saves here, and then his 5
Then you took your saves,
reroll,
and it did not work out.
No, he died.
And he did. He did.
He did everything he could, so he drops the crate too.
And I gave myself another little blue point there.
Yep, slay the warlord.
Slay the warlord.
But you couldn't pick up the crate, though, because you had to stop your turn.
Yep, because you end your move.
To get a shot off on me. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really effective, too, because you would just be running wild, just like walking onto shit, like just picking it up.
Yeah, it'd be kind of silly.
Yeah, that'd be outrageous. I like the idea that fluff-wise, they see all the ammo and they just load up whatever ammo they can and then they keep walking.
Pocket it.
Yeah, yeah. as opposed to like the guns. They're like, oh, let's take these with us. Let's keep them in the crate.
I think here. So I am shooting your Leviathan, I believe.
Yep.
This is your turn. So you're shooting me. I think you shot the attack squad. Yeah,
I'm shooting at the squad with my Contemptor, not Leviathan. Leviathan's dead. Contemptor with Hell Claw, Death Glaive Claw, or whatever it is. Hellforged Death Claw.
I thought you were going to shoot the flyer, honestly. But I know with an extra negative to hit, because you're at 4s.
I was at 4 ballistic skill.
So 5s to hit would have been pretty tough.
Yeah. And honestly, he moved, so I should have subtracted something, so I don't know if I did or not. I don't think I did. I think I cheated. I think I was still rolling on 4s, even though I had moved. And it's the end of my turn, and I'm scattering another crate. And scatter's right there in the middle.
That's in a pretty tough spot for anybody.
Yeah, like
at this point.
It's super far away from like everybody and everything.
Yeah, those Primaris like, but it's even like a full sprint.
Did you see that?
Is this there's
this is a bottom of 6.
Okay, so yeah. So this is where my Sanguinary Priest makes a run for that crate, and I think I rolled like a 6 for his advance. So he just makes a beeline for it, and I believe it was just ammo, which is super duper cool. Yeah. Just gave me a point right away, because we were kind of just at an arms race right now, just grabbing everything we could.
Yeah, trying to like snatch everything up.
Yeah, and actually, so I placed that crate, and it scatters right next to the one that's already down. So I got really lucky with just getting a couple in a good spot. The flyer is kind of pivotal here because I really need to keep him off that 2-point objective. I'm not great at fighting ground troops. I kind of built it with fighting other flyers in mind. But he's been doing okay this game. He blew up the Leviathan, and he's been putting some wounds everywhere he goes. So, and then I think I'm gonna just start a little gun line here, and he's got 1 wound left, and and I have the Emperor's Finest. Got this. All they had to do was they had to scoot up so they could double tap,
it's like
but
just
not
close
get
enough.
close till you could charge because he's moving 4 inches right now.
Yeah,
right?
like he's like limping around.
He's dirtling.
I'm gonna get you with my Hellforged Death Claw.
I was tired of getting clawed.
You saw what I did to them robots. It wouldn't have been as good against infantry though, because I mean, I get it would be doing 3 damage on 1 dude, same as like your big. It's just like really kills the hell out of 1 guy, as opposed to like putting a major sore on a freaking robot. You know,
my dudes were all 2 wounds apiece though. So
yeah,
doing
so actually would have
was really really awesome.
It would have been effective. Yeah, I guess.
And I mean, 4 guys a turn. I mean, you're hitting on 4s now. So it wasn't super duper crazy against my infantry, but he's still not something I want to be engaged with.
Right.
I think I'm about to. So we
you're
just
shooting the crap out of him.
Yeah, I think my flyer is going to shoot after that too. I think he takes 2 rounds into that squad.
Well, that flyer's he starts picking on those dudes in the top right corner after you're done shooting up my Contemptor Dreadnought, man of the match, man of the hour
for your side,
Francis. Death Guard.
Curse you, Francis.
He's pretty good. He's a pretty solid dude. And you know, I hardly ever take dreadnoughts because last edition really they weren't that great.
They were just not worth the time.
Yeah, no, but this edition they're actually a lot better. So
I think they're really badass. I mean,
they've been making their time on the table.
And they're cool. I mean, they're like some of the models that got me into the game.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
When I first started playing, I was like, holy shit, these are amazing.
Yeah, badass robots.
And I have like 5 dreadnoughts, and they didn't see table time for years.
Yeah.
Unless we were just like goofing around. Doing
like a big game, so you just bring everything that you have.
Yeah, something where they're not going to be targeted because they're not worth shooting.
well, I got these dreadnoughts. I might as well put those on the table.
But now, especially with Melta, like not getting turn 1 deep strikes and stuff like that, like,
it's cool.
They're gonna survive a little bit.
It's really cool.
And so you shot me here, I guess, and you only were able to do 1 wound on me because you're all beat up now.
No, you're still shooting at me. I was just making a crap ton of saves.
Was it?
Yeah, like you were getting real frustrated. Remember?
Yo, I remember. Well, that was like the whole game.
No, I was making a crap ton of saves because I have a 5-up invul against shooting attacks.
I really like how the Death Guard play now. I mean,
yeah, it's really fluffy.
It's tough to play against, but like you're exactly like the opposite of what I do. Mm-hmm. Like you're much more resilient, and I put a lot more damage out.
Yeah, it kind of evens up.
Yeah, so even when I would get my rage or the thirst for the first turn, but then after that it was like back to just normal Marines trying to duke it out.
So this is interesting. So at the bottom of 6, you scattered another crate, and then we rolled to end it, and it still did not end. So it actually went on to turn 7.
And so now we've got the only crates left. We've got the one on the bottom right between the two buildings.
Mm-hmm.
On the far left side on the road, we've got 2. And then your squad at the top right there has now the 2-point objective.
Yep, I'm carrying the 2-pointer, and you've got 2 crates. Actually, you've got 3 crates on the kind of bottom middle left side, and 2 within crate snatching range.
Yeah, so I think I spoke a little early, I think, on the guys up there, but they do make a run for those 2.
And here I am assault cannoning and combi boltering you with Francis the Contemptor Dreadnought.
His shooting wasn't too impressive, but...
No, not after getting whittled down to 1
Yeah,
point.
I mean, this is his third turn on 1 wound or something like that. Yep. And then I had a turn to shoot at him, did nothing.
Yep.
I had a turn to overwatch at him.
I don't think it did anything.
No, it doesn't do anything here.
So you're shooting a crap at him. He's just kind of like,
yeah. My guys are all in, like, action poses. Like,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. There was a point where I was like, wasn't even looking. I was like, he's fine. Like, I'm rolling the dice because it's like I have to.
It's like,
he's fine.
It's part of the game. I might as well roll these dice.
I figured I actually had a better chance once we got into melee because I do have a sergeant there with a power sword.
Yeah.
So you'd be taking your invuln save instead of just.
But in close combat, I got a 4-up invul, which is pretty sweet.
You do. I mean, he's great.
It's a good model. It's a good unit.
Yeah, and he does some work here, and I do nothing back, I believe, in this round. So you can see, I lay my guys down so we can remember for morale.
Right.
The rest of the dudes move in, and I don't even know what they're doing, man. They're trying.
Yeah, I killed the shit out of like 3 guys. You swing at me a couple times.
There you go. There's the save, I think. No. So I'm swinging on you now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you kill him.
No, because here I needed force to wound you, and you made both your saves. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he died.
See right there, he doesn't die this round.
What's it? Oh yeah, so
he made his saves, and then my guys were brave enough to stand there again and get beat up.
Yikes.
There you go.
So this is top of
7.
Top of 7, and you know what? I forgot to drop another crate, but I don't think it really mattered.
Well, you only got 3 units on the board.
Yeah, there was no way.
And one of them's holding.
I think that's a big deal. Is I kept forgetting to drop crates, but so here's like an awesome play. You run up and capture 2 crates, and they're both worth a point each. Yeah,
they were both worth a point, which I score them right away. I missed the last turn, so it wasn't huge.
No, it's definitely huge at the last turn because I was like, fuck. Yeah. And I was trying to count up, and I was like, did we tie? I'm like, I don't know what happened. Shit. And I'm like still trying to count like in my head like where we were.
Because I've got you by 1 right now, but then you have a 2-point crate.
I got the 2-point crate, and then I also have a 2-point crate in that building, which you completely forgot about.
Yeah, and then I have a 2-point crate behind there. So right now you're winning by 1.
Yep.
And so the last thing that I have, we've got to do the shooting up top there. Mm-hmm. So my flyer came in at the very end there, and I called it lame and was like, not going to do anything.
No, yeah, you
stupid.
You fucking,
He just came up
scorched earth on those dudes.
Peppered him. And I
like as you see, I'm just picking off dudes like just every time you roll dice, I'm like, oh, there's another one. There's another one.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 12 shots with the assault cannon. He's got 2 las cannon shots. He's got the sky hammer, which was hitting you on 5s, but I rolled 3, 5, 5, 6, or something like that.
It was pretty brutal.
So I really needed it to come through, and he did.
Yep.
He blew you off that objective. And I didn't even realize at the time. I knew that had to happen, but that was really pretty much going to kind of seal it.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome way to end that turn.
Yeah, that was huge. It went from me losing by 1 to... I think it's... Are we close enough to...
Yeah, I think we're close enough to the end here. So...
blowing up.
You picked this one up because you had 4 points, and then you had another point for... What was it?
So I won because of line breaker. So we've got 3 right now. We both have a crate, a 2-point crate. You got first blood, and then I had line breaker.
And I had Slay the Warlord as well.
Oh, and you did have Slay the Warlord too.
So you ended up getting another crate, another 2 crates. So yeah, we ended up both having 6 after we tallied everything up. But you had your flyer up in the corner for line breaker. And so you got another point for a line breaker. And I know you only have 5 up there if you're actually watching and paying attention at home.
We ran out of blue dots.
But we ran out of blue dots, so I gotta make more blue dots. I'm a big fan of blue dots, so I got to make more of those. But here's me pointing out and say, oh, no, you got line breaker.
Yeah, because I thought it was a tie for the longest time. We were tallying it up, and it was like...
Yeah, because we did this weird corner situation. So, yeah. Congrats on your win, sir.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Here's another handshake.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So, hey, man, if you guys watch this all the way through, we
Thank
really
you very
appreciate
much,
that. Yeah, and we enjoy having you hang out with us. So please check out the video, like it, subscribe, check out other videos is what I mean to say. We got a bunch of them, and there'll be plenty more. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Super duper last thought. Who's your MVP? Just real quick.
Contemptor.
Contemptor. Probably my flyer, Stormhawk.
Bye.